Things can get a little bit nauseating airily in 360 degrees, so we're going to switch back to a standard field of view for this flight. Estuaries are borderlands, or transition zones. They are a place where the river meets the sea, where fresh water meets salt water. Here you see the land where the main arm of the Fraser River flows from. The Fraser River Estuary is one of the biggest estuaries on North America's west coast, supporting a productive ecosystem from salmon to whales to birds.
The Fraser Estuary has changed rapidly in a century. The Fraser River and its estuary flow through the largest city in Western Canada. As you can see here from above, the human population and footprint from forestry, agriculture, urbanization, and industry affect the quality of the water, the natural flow of the river, and the shorelines and foreshore of the river. In the early 1900s, multiple jetties were built to stabilize the location and facilitate dredging to allow for easy navigation into the river. These jetties, like the big line of rocks you see in the water below, change the natural flow of the river into the estuary, resulting in juvenile salmon being pushed into the open ocean before they are ready. These huge alterations to the health of the river have had a significant impact on its ability to support salmon and many other species that call the Fraser home.
Chinook salmon from the Fraser River are very important to both people and place. Pop quiz. As an integral part of their ecosystem, what type of species are salmon referred to as being? As endangered species, as invasive species, or as foundation species? Well, wild salmon are foundation species, and this is different from the familiar term keystone species. Foundation species influence an ecosystem from the bottom up. Their sheer volume of biomass, energy and nutrients that they have imparts a huge influence on the health of other plants and animals in the ecosystem. In this territory, the Coast Salish and Stolo nations have been stewards of the Fraser River Basin since time immemorial and have a vested interest in preserving their traditions dependent on this ecosystem. This ecosystem is made possible by the mixing of salt and fresh water. The estuarine pump that mixes these water bodies carries fresh water out in the surface layers and brings cold, nutrient-rich salt water in along the bottom. This circulation system, fresh water flowing from the Fraser River and salt water brought in from the Pacific tides, creates very productive coastal waters. Speaking of water, let's go down to the estuary and have a look from below.